Open Your Eyes is brought to you by the Belize Bank. Our country, your bank.
Good morning and welcome to Open Your Eyes.
Start your morning right.
I am April Martinez.
And I'm Paul Lopez.
And welcome to our show this morning.
It's Tuesday morning,
It's
April.
Tuesday.
How are you doing
I need more coffee.
You need
That's
more
how I'm
coffee?
doing. Yeah.
Both of us.
No, it was a very strange drive coming up. I think I left a little late. The sun was already shining. It was bright. And then as soon as I hit Hattieville, it started green.
How do you start your morning right? Besides coming on the show and greeting our lovely people, do you sing a song when you're on the drive? Do you meditate? Do you listen to good music?
I do listen to music when I'm on the drive.
Yeah.
Honestly, I prefer it. People ask, oh my gosh, how you go handle that? I enjoy driving alone in the morning. There is barely any traffic. In fact, sometimes there's no traffic, right? And then I put on my music on full blast loud because nobody will definitely hear me, and I sing along to my songs. And then my playlist on shuffle is a very moody playlist on shuffle.
Is it?
Yes. I've been in your car and you blast your music to a T.
Yeah.
But my playlist would never be that same genre.
Yeah,
it would definitely fluctuate.
Yeah, I just asked because I know a lot of people, they have their morning routines. And some people right now, this may be a part of their morning routine.
Yeah.
You know, waking up, turning on, open your eyes, putting on their coffee, and that's how they start their morning. For me, I wake up, the first thing I do, I go to the stove and I put on the kettle. I use kettle.
Yeah, me too.
And the kettle whistle too, it have a whistle, right? And I put on the kettle, make sure the water hot, and I turn on the TV and I put on some nice soothing music. Yeah, as much as you hear me the blast loud music in my vehicle, the morning, that last thing I want to hear.
I can't do soothing music in the morning because I'm trying to wake up. So I feel like my alarms are like a rooster that crow, loud and annoying because then I have to wake up. If I have on a soothing music, I go right back go lay down.
Well, this is where the coffee come in because the coffee is my alarm after the alarm because then this alerts me that it's time to wake up and get your day going. So put on the TV, listen to some soothing music on YouTube, and I sip on the coffee. Within 5 minutes, I get that energy I need.
Well, I'm getting ready to listen to a podcast or something.
Right.
Yeah, just to listen to whatever information or something. I'm very lame. You know, my YouTube, the news, podcast, a bunch of documentaries that I use for work, more news, The Daily Show from Trevor Noah.
I listen to that at night. But April, we could afford to do these things. I tell you one thing, we perhaps could afford to do these things because there's one thing that differentiates us from a lot of people. We don't have children. And there's a lot of parents where their routine is completely different in the morning. They wake up and the first thing they have to do, if they're not doing it from the night before, they figure out school uniform. All right. The uniform washed, the uniform clean. And some parents do it from
the weekend.
Yeah,
iron for a Sunday, make sure that all days are set for the week. And
still, there are things in the morning that have to do. Sometimes they prepare lunch. But for many parents, their morning routine begins with preparing their children for school, right? And then they have to prepare themselves.
And then it depends on the grades that they're in.
Yeah.
Because if you have a small child, a toddler by the age of 3 or 4, you know, you try prepare them first. That nasty, so.
Yeah.
Right? You want to prepare them first, you want to get dressed, you want to come back, and you have to prepare them again because something happened, an incident happened, or they thought that, you know, the situation was not where it was going, or food spill, or breakfast spill, or, you know, one way or the other. If you are a parent and you are starting your morning right with your kids now that they're going back to school, we wish you all the very, very best.
Definitely, that's exactly what I was going to say. Yeah. Whether you're right now you're on that ironing board while listening to us, or if you're packing that lunch,
pouring the cereal for breakfast,
trying to calm that little one down, say eat your breakfast, make sure you eat everything, no left far on the table until you finish eat. We just want to thank you for starting your morning with us.
Yes.
As well.
I love it.
But April, there's a lot that happened in the news last night. There's plenty of things to discuss. Of course, it was Monday, and it's either a manic Monday or it's a murder Monday, and sometimes it's murder Monday on steroids. And yesterday, what we saw was a very bloody Monday, where we saw incidents of murders happen across the country, from the south all the way up to the Belize district, particularly starting with one of the more gruesome ones that took place in Independence Village. We got information early yesterday morning, and fortunately, I say fortunately and I use that term loosely, we had a team down south because they were already moving towards Bella Vista, where another incident had taken place over the weekend, a chopping incident and a murder. And I was on my way from Belmopan when I got word of a body being found right there on the John Smith Road. But to begin with the Independence incident, one Miss Marin, her lifeless body was discovered in a most gruesome manner on a tomb inside the Independence Village Cemetery.
Yeah, Marcelina McKin.
Marcelina McKin, correct. Body found with cut wounds to the neck, and it had appeared as if she was sexually assaulted and left for dead. I think it caught the nation by shock because of the type of murder, in terms of the circumstances surrounding it, the fact that you would do such a thing to a human being, a woman nonetheless, to violate her in that manner inside a cemetery, and to top it off per se by taking her life in such a cruel and vile way. And the fact that she is a mother nonetheless, April, a mother of 3 children, I believe. She was working at a bar, and this was her means of getting the income that she needed to send her children to school. Man,
I have a lot of questions.
Yeah.
I have a lot of questions because she is not a resident of Independence. She's from Toledo, right? She's from the south, so she's already at a different place trying to make ends meet.
Right.
And what I find most alarming, Paul, is the symbolism of placing her on a tomb.
Yeah.
Because I don't know if the police haven't issued any reports on the investigation itself. Yeah. So I can only speculate. Right. But the way that you all captured the scene of the crime, you know, if you're inflicting wounds in such a manner, I would imagine that the crime scene would be a little bit more gruesome.
Yeah.
So I have questions, you know, was she murdered there and then, or was she murdered elsewhere and then placed there? I have questions surrounding the persons that knew her in the village. I know you all did an interview with someone that she worked with. And I don't know if there was anybody else that was maybe even closer to her that could give some more information. The person that was interviewed said that she was a victim of theft not too long ago, and she didn't report that. You know, why didn't you report something like that? You know, if you have a stalker, you could report something to that effect. Needless to say, there's a lot more questions than anything when it comes to this, because to me, and I think maybe I watch too much TV, but there's a lot of symbolism in where you murdered her and why you put her in that place. That is an open area. That is a sacred space, first of all. And it's an open area where you want that person to be found. If you didn't want her to be found, you wouldn't put her in such an open area. So I have a lot more questions than I do with most things. It's just a difficult thing to see you guys have to report.
It's always hard, April, when we have to report and investigate these types of stories. I think that there must be a demand for justice to be had in this case, as in any other incidents or instances of murder. And this one in particular, given the fact that now you have children that are without their mother and have to live with the fact that their mother's life was taken away in such a gruesome manner. And I keep using that word because it is what it is, really. And so there must be a demand for a proper investigation to be taking place into this. So
while this case has a lot more unknowns than knowns, the other case, the one that you all were originally there for, it seems that there is a... Right,
so that one, excuse me, that one apparently, reportedly was tied to an act of jealous rage, where Mr. Blanco lost his life in that incident. Again, another unfortunate incident, and the purported killer is still on the run. Police at this time believe that he may still be in country,
but they have warned countries along the border.
Indeed, they have warned Guatemalan counterparts, Honduran counterparts to be on the alert and to be on the lookout for the suspect. Again, April, you have to ask the question: what's going through the minds of these people? What's going through their hearts when they commit such acts?
It was such an open act of just rage. I'm not even gonna say it was an accident or anything like that. He went full-blown ballistic on this person, and there were witnesses, right? So now that he has probably gotten his thoughts together, he's on the run.
And then finally, the final incident that kind of wrap things up for us yesterday was, again, I said when I was on my way from Belmopan, I got word that a body was found on the John Smith Road, John Smith Airport Link Road. We later learned the identity of that person to be one Alan Martinez, a resident of Belize City. He was reported missing on Saturday, September 3rd.
I saw his missing person.
And what's puzzling about this incident is the fact that his body was found in a badly decomposed state right along the shoulder of the highway in an area that had been searched and had been canvassed for 4 days. So, and we're talking about a team of relatives and Belize Defense Force officers. And so it left the family members puzzled, questioning, how did we not catch this? And I mean, we saw how puzzled they were when they were on the scene yesterday. We saw them asking the question. We saw them raising their hands. We saw them pointing at the location. We saw them showing the fact that they've canvassed that area.
This case, again, is one of those cases that I have more questions than anything. Because either there is a person that, I don't know, and these are just my opinions and my ideas, that knew that they were already looking for this person. They probably didn't know that the family had canvassed the area so thoroughly before, and decided that, okay, put this person here, because clearly this body was already in full decomposition, right? It was already decomposed to a point where you couldn't identify his face anymore. So I don't know. I would want to see the reports on the forensics and see if the decomposition was happening there already and everybody just missed it, or the body was decomposing and then was placed there after a period of time, right? Because you will have remnants of decomposition if it was indeed decomposing there.
So,
right?
So April, to wrap it up, the question to be asked now and perhaps to be answered is, whether we could answer it, well, let me ask it this way. Are murders on the rise at this time? Are we seeing an increase in these heinous crimes? That question was put in one way to the Commissioner of Police yesterday, and his explanation was that we're not seeing the type of gang-related murders that we were seeing months past. So a lot of that has basically subsided and died down. And he explained that these types of murders, they're what he refers to as silly murders. Murders that the police can't necessarily do much to prevent. And we're talking about the one in Bella Vista and the one in Independence Village.
Paul, I will go on a limb here and say that a lot of the times the media will not capture every investigation, right? You guys can't be everywhere. And needless to say, sometimes in small communities, those things are not reported, not even to the police. So I can't answer that question, or you can't answer that question, if there is a rise, but it is scary to see. You feel scared then that people can commit these heinous crimes. The one in Independence feels like something that comes out of Criminal Minds, not in Independence Village, Belize. So it's something for us to follow up on. It's something for us, the community, to keep our eyes out to see if you see something, say something, report it. If you know anything, don't be afraid to call those that can investigate these kinds of incidents, because at the end of the day, it's not just one person that got murdered that is a victim. The entire community is at risk.
Indeed.
So you have to be able to help each other out. But I'm so sorry that we're beginning this Tuesday morning on such a gruesome note. But we'll try our best to inspire you and motivate you this morning with the eye opener. And our eye opener is taken from dailyum.com. Paul, check this out. Our words and our actions are absorbed by our children, regardless of their age. Everything we do and say in the presence of our children makes an impression on them. We may think we can get away with swearing or gossiping in front of them when they can't talk, but we have forgotten that just because they can't talk doesn't mean they don't hear. They are sensitive sponges, absorbing their environment in ways we will never know. Even if the words don't make sense to them, they make an impression, as does the energy behind the words. We honor our children when we acknowledge that they are fully present from the very beginning. and when we offer ourselves to them in ways that model the best of what humans can be. Our desire to become the best we can be is often strongest at the very beginning of a child's life and sometimes loses its intensity as we grow accustomed to their presence. However, it is never too late to look at ourselves and notice whether we are offering our best to our children. That original welling up of love and hope can inspire us throughout our lives to be the best we can be. Absolutely true.
Yeah.
Absolutely true. I think that we take children for granted. We don't take them as seriously as we would think. But I've learned throughout my time having a small child around me that they indeed absorb everything and they don't forget either, right? So if you, and I recall this with my brother, we promised him we are carrying somewhere for the weekend. And we promised he that from like Monday. And we were trying to plan it, discuss it. And he was around. He was probably about 3 or 4. He was around. And probably in the middle of the week, we realized we're not going to be able to do this. And he didn't say anything. Come Saturday, he looks at us and he said, did you guys manage to work out what our problems were? Because he ready for go somewhere, right? And that, I think that it's surprising, but then as adults we forget that we were kids once, and that was the way we were, in a sense, sponges absorbing all of that information around us. And we have to be able to treat them as not, I don't want to say equals in the sense, because of course they're still children and you want to make sure that you keep them innocent and as children, but you should take them seriously. Right? Yesterday we had the folks that were here from the Ministry of Human Development talking about child abuse and children and the fear of them wanting to speak out to an adult because perhaps an adult won't believe them. It's the same thing in all instances when we're talking about kids, what we say to them and what they say back to us.
Yeah.
We should try our best to take them seriously because they are little humans.
You know, the truth is, April, children learn a lot from imitation.
Yes.
Why do you think it is that when a group of children gather together in the playground or out in the front yard, that they want to set up a classroom and play teacher and student? You ever see children do that? Either the teacher or the student. All right, teacher. All right, children. Class is in session. Where did they learn that? They learned that in the classroom, and then they're imitating that because that's what they're learning. That's what they're observing. I know for a fact that at home, my mom does a lot of gardening, and we have kids at home. I have a little sister, a little nephew at home, and they want to get their hands dirty as well. They don't know much about how a seed is planted or how a seed grows, the whole process behind that, but they want to get something, they want to dig, they want to be in the dirt because they're seeing the adults around them doing the same, and so they're learning. And that's how children learn. So in the same way, when we practice bad behavior around the kids, when we use foul language around them, well, don't be surprised when 5-year-old Johnny come and fly with a few bad words at you and say, "Mothers, where you learn that from?" Well, honey, he's been hearing it since he's 1 year old.
And you know, sometimes we try to teach. I don't know if it's Murphy's Law or just the universe making a joke, but sometimes we try our best to teach kids how to do something properly, right? Yeah. And they don't get it, they don't do it, and the minute you flash a bad word, that's busting them out. But we try our best to learn our kids to learn positive things, and we also want to learn positive things too. And we want to learn positivity
about the weather.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, Angelia. How are you?
Good, and you?
We are here trying to learn about positivity. So, do you have positive news about the weather?
That depends on relativity.
All right, give us the general situation for today.
Okay, we have moist conditions continuing over the area.
Okay, and our 24-hour forecast?
We expect a few showers and thunderstorms mostly over northern and central areas this morning, and then decreasing during the day, and then some showers, thunderstorms, periods of rain around the country tonight. We're expecting more activity over the country during tonight and tomorrow morning.
Oh, wow. What about our temperatures or highs and lows?
High temperatures today will reach about 86 degrees Fahrenheit along the coast, 89 inland, and 78 in the hills. And the low temperatures tonight will range from 78 degrees Fahrenheit along the coast, 72 inland, and 68 in the hills.
All right. And their winds?
Winds are generally from the east at 5 to 15 knots.
Okay. What about our outlook for Wednesday and Wednesday night?
Okay, we're expecting some showers, thunderstorms, and periods of rain around the country Wednesday morning, and then decreasing during the daytime.
And any advisories, watches, or warnings?
We have a small craft caution in effect for occasional gusty winds and locally rough seas near heavy showers and thunderstorms.
Any updates in our tropics?
We have a couple tropical waves over the far eastern and central Atlantic Ocean, but no significant note at this time.
All right. Well, thank you. That is positivity, Angelia. So thank you so much for stopping in and giving us that weather update. Have a good day.
You're welcome. Bye.
All right. Here you have it. Make sure that you are dry wherever you are this
some
today.
Wet spells
some wet spells
today.
throughout the day
Yeah.
and tomorrow, it seems.
Yeah.
So do your best to stay hydrated and dry for today. We move on with our show for this morning, and we have a jam-packed show for us. Our first two segments, we will be joined by the Yashe Conservation Trust. You know, Yashe is an environmental non-government organization, and they're going to be in studio this morning talking to us about biodiversity monitoring and so much more. So we have those two segments just for Yashe.
And then in our final conversation, April, our friends from Smart will be over, and they'll be here to discuss some of their new promotions and some of their new deals. You know, anytime Smart come with the business.
All right.
And that's exactly what we're looking forward to from them today.
All right, but before we get started, all of these wonderful conversations, we have to take a break, and we'll be back with Yashe. So stay tuned.
Keep still now.
Ouch.
I tell you no move.
Man, you really can't get a mannequin for this, man? Really?
Well, son, if I never lend you the $2,000 to buy the kids' computer and the book, I may have the money for buy my mannequin.
It's definitely better to borrow from the bank than from your friends or relatives. This way, all you owe is money.
Would you like me to turn around?
That would be good. Turn on, turn on, turn on.
Take advantage of the back-to-school promotion currently being offered by the Belize Bank.
Applying for a Social Security sickness benefit? Here's what you need to know. A complete claims package include 1. Sickness claim form fully completed by the claimant and medical doctor. 2. Salaries record form completed by the employer or HR representative. 3. Proof of bank account such as bank book, online banking, or statement displaying your name and account number. To submit via email, you need to take a clear photo or scan of the documents and email to claims@socialsecurity.org.bz. Be sure to include your full name, social security number, and benefit type in the subject line of the email. Deadline to submit is 14 days from your first day of illness. All forms are available on the website at www.socialsecurity.org.bz. Social Security Board, safeguarding you, your family, your future.
Everyone, including our elderly, needs to stay connected with their loved ones. With Smart's Golden Citizen broadband program, senior citizens can sign up for 10 megabytes of unlimited internet at a low monthly cost of $25. Citizens over 65 can sign up with a valid ID and receive free installation plus 1 month free on selected broadband plans. Visit a Smart showroom near you for more information on how you can enjoy Smart's Golden Citizen broadband program. Smart, bringing people together.
Great Belize Productions Channel 5, proud winner of 9 Caribbean Media Awards for 2021. Best Investigative Report, Best News Item, Best Coverage of People with Disabilities, Best Financial Literacy Journalism, Best Videographer, Best Television Commercial Spot, and the People's Choice Award, with 2 special mentions for Financial Literacy Journalism.
Dwayne Moody, Isani Cayetano, Marian Ali, Paul Lopez. Your News 5 Belize teams do whatever it takes, go wherever they need to go, so you can catch the story wherever you are, whenever you want, on whatever device. Channel 5 Belize on television, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube, because news is now everywhere, all the time, and so are we.
Whether you're at home, on the road, at work, or at school, if you see news happening or suspect that something might be up, call or text the Channel 5 News Belize tip line at 672-5555. You don't have to give us your name, just give us the tip. That's 672-5555. Call or text us so we can check it out.
Are you looking for low-cost television advertising? Have we got a deal for you? Advertise on Channel 5's Daily Classifieds. Channel 5's Daily Classifieds is one of the most effective methods for introducing yourself and your business to the community. Use our Daily Classifieds to recruit employees, promote specials, promote your products or services, promote a business opportunity, increase traffic to your website, and advertise items you have for sale. Let us help you to save valuable time and money. Call us today at 280-0013 or visit us at our offices on Coney Drive to discuss how we can help your business grow affordably. Channel 5's Daily Classifieds. Advertise today.
And we'll be back in a few, so stay tuned. Thanks, Jen. Hey there, we know you have to head out to work shortly, but don't forget that you can stay tuned by watching us on our Facebook live stream. Find us at Open Your Eyes BC, and you can continue watching there. You can also download Facebook Watch on your streaming device, and you can watch at your own convenience.
And for all the behind-the-scenes fun, follow us on Instagram at OYE Belize. So,
find us
and follow us
today.
When someone you love becomes a memory, the memory becomes a treasure. Channel 5 introduces the Daily Obituaries. The Daily Obituaries will broadcast all death and funeral announcements and memorials to honor your loved one's life and memories. The Daily Obituaries airs on Channel 5 prior to the evening newscast, with subsequent repeats at 10 p.m. and 12 noon the following day. It will also be placed online on our social media platforms, all for a standard package fee. Celebrate their lives and memories with Channel 5's Daily Obituaries. Honor in life and reverence in death.
And we are back. Our first conversation for this morning.
Indeed, and so in studios with us, we have the folks from over at the Yache. I'm sure I got that wrong, but I'll get it. I'll learn more as we go along. Conservation Trust, and we have in with us the Executive Director, Ms. Christina Garcia, Ms. Elizabeth Dorgay, who is the Science Program Director, as well as Said Gutierrez, who is the Protected Areas Program Director. Good morning to you, good folks. How are we this morning?
Excellent.
Indeed.
Excellent. That's a long drive up from PG.
We had a good sleep, so.
Okay. So we're all coming from PG this morning?
We came from yesterday.
Oh, you came from yesterday. Awesome.
It's easier on us.
Yes.
Indeed. Well, we're here to talk about the trust and all the work that you guys have been doing, the wonderful work. So let's first of all give our audience a general view, a general oversight in terms of what is it that this conservation trust is involved in. What are the works?
Okay, so Yakshe has been around for a very long time, since 1998. Our main purpose, well, it's a mixture of different things. Protected areas management is where we focus a lot. Of course, working closely with the Forest Department and the National Biodiversity Office. We manage 3 protected areas, the Bladen Nature Reserve, which is around 100,000 acres. A private protected area called Golden Stream Corridor Preserve, which is about 15,000 acres. And then you have the Maya Mountain North Forest Reserve, which is about 33,000 acres. So we have co-management with the government of Belize, particularly the Forest Department, for its management. But apart from protected areas, we do have different programs. We have a community outreach and livelihoods program, which focuses a lot on working with 10 indigenous communities in the Toledo district. And what we do is the promotion of smart agricultural practices to these communities. For example, promotion of agroforestry, ingale cropping, and of course beekeeping. So the beekeeping aspect involves women. Because for us, we have a female who is the highest producer in honey in the Toledo district. So we promote these smart agricultural practices with these 10 indigenous communities, shifting them from the slash and burn practice that they utilize to a more sustainable one, in this case the agroforestry, basing it on cacao, and also the ingale cropping, which is used for the restoration of soil, and of course the beekeeping.
How do you manage with moving on a regular, well, I shouldn't say regular basis, but how do you manage maneuvering one particular technique and skill in agriculture to another? What has changed in the environment for you to move?
Right, so it's easier to implement some of these agricultural practices. For example, the cacao agroforestry, you don't have to clear a vast amount of forest to set up an agroforestry plot. You can get high yields within a small confined plot of land. In this case, the farmers, they have traditionally planted cacao, so they know about that particular crop, and there's a market for it at the moment. The ingale cropping is utilized in areas where you have degradation. For example, we work with a lot of farmers that want to convert, for example, their pasture into more agroforestry farms. So we utilize the ingale cropping to basically restore the soils for them to, have their agroforestry plot, or to grow vegetables, or in this case beans, corn. So it's easier to kind of make that shift at the very beginning, because like I said, you don't have to clear vast amount of forest to initiate some of these practices.
Does Yashe involve themselves with outside or research groups that would come in and perhaps test the soil or something to that?
Yes, so apart from the programs, the Protected Areas Management Program and the Community Outreach and Livelihoods Program, we also have a business arm to the organization called Yakshe Institute for Education and Conservation. And within that particular aspect, we work with a lot of student groups from abroad, specifically universities in the US. So we bring those university groups to work in the protected areas, but also to interact a little bit more with the community groups that we work with in the particular community. And they have basically, they come with high interest in terms of doing some research and monitoring, and I'm pretty sure Elizabeth will speak about that a little bit later on. But their interaction has been very focused and has helped us a lot in terms of gathering data and information that we utilize for decision making.
I wanted to jump a bit into the protected areas management aspect of it. And what does that entail? How do you go about protecting and safekeeping this vast amount of land?
Yeah, well, it's no small feat.
I would imagine so.
So we have 3 protected areas, 2 that we co-manage with the government and 1 that is privately managed by the organization. And we're all talking about thousands of acres.
Yeah.
So we under the protected areas program, we have a team of rangers from the nearby communities, and it's essential to have the support from those nearby communities, and that's where we hire our guys from. And some of them are previous hunters that they've stopped doing that a long time ago. Some of them are just really young and interested in this kind of work and they want to get into it. But we have this team that is dedicated to going into the protected area, conducting patrols on a daily basis, year-round, and that's how we try as best as we can. The challenge there is the number of people that we have.
Right.
Boots on the ground can be a challenge, not just to keep them, but to also ensure that they're covering ground where they should be. They have to focus on specific hotspot areas, and that's what kind of drives where and how we move around.
Because I would imagine it must be strategic movement through these areas, given the fact that you may not be able to cover every square inch per se.
The intention is not to cover every square inch because it's nearly impossible to do. So even if you had 100 guys on the ground, it really doesn't make sense to send the guys to cover all the ground. Really and truly has to do with human behavior. So we know, more or less when hunters are going out. If the moon if it's a full moon, you're not expecting hunters to be out hunting, and so you kind of time it based on that. We're always as a species are always looking for the path of least resistance.
Yeah.
So we'll go in the valleys. We'll look for trails that are already in existence, roads that are already in existence, and so we also target those areas.
So what are rangers looking for in terms of the different infractions or the different illegal activities? What is it that they're looking for?
So primarily looking for signs that people have been in there. Something as simple as boot prints on the ground, you tend to find that often. So if we look into our database and you look at infractions, illegal entry into the protected area tends to be pretty high because often that's all you find, boot prints. But if you have a hunter that's been in there and perhaps it's his first time, they will have machete marks on trees, just marking their path. And that's kind of how they get into the protected area. So the rangers are trained to look for those signs. Trash, people, take their chips bag and they just leave it on the trail. Our guys will pick that up. We know where. We sometimes try to figure out more or less where it comes from, especially in far reaches of the protected areas, like the Bladen Nature Reserve. When you start having transboundary incursions, the trash that you find tends to be from products that you can find across the border, so Guatemalan products. And that's how we can, put one and one together, and then we know for a fact that people from across the border have been in those areas.
Are these the only challenges you've faced in recent times? We're talking about hunting, littering. What else?
Hunting is one of the most prevalent.
Okay.
You can't get rid of it. It's been there. All we could do is try to minimize the impact of it.
Yeah.
Another really important one that we try to avoid or minimize is illegal logging. This is one of the things that, particularly within the forest reserves, in Belize, our forest reserves are established for the exploitation of the resources. So timber, the main product that comes out of forest reserves, And in the Maya Mountain North Forest Reserve, we have an area that can be accessed fairly easy because it's flat, and then the rest is very rugged, hilly terrain. But within this flat area is where people can access it easily, and so we've been seeing a lot of logging instances in the last couple of years. I know probably COVID had something to do with the economics of the local communities, and so we've seen a spike in illegal logging. So people go in, cut 1, 2 trees, take it out, usually at night. Our guys can't always function at night, so it's, those are the challenges that we have. Catching people in the act is probably one of the hardest things to do.
So you discussed having that collaboration with the government in order for you all to continue doing your research and your advocacy, but what separates, and this is something I think that I want to know, and I think some viewers would like to know, what separates the work that Yashe is doing from other nature conservation organizations? What separates Yashe from PAC, for example?
Yeah, so the Protected Areas Conservation Trust has been more of a partner for many co-managers in the country because they basically provide the finances to have boots on the ground, to do the enforcement, to do the research and monitoring. There are many organizations that have a lot of the same goals and objectives in place. In the case of Yakshe, we go more by the vision of harmony between nature and human development for the benefit of both. We understand our goal in terms of conservation, of protected areas management, but we also do realize that we need to balance that and create livelihoods, opportunities for communities. And that's basically what makes Yakshe a little bit unique from other organizations in Belize, that we try to strike that balance between conservation and, of course, enhancing livelihoods.
How do you bring that connection and that balance with traditional knowledge systems? So, for example, the hunting. Some will argue with you and say, "But this is tradition. This is a part of my livelihood." How do you construct that balance between community and?
That's pretty hard. I think the best way you could tackle this is through education and awareness. And of course, the enforcement work or patrols kind of complement it. But it's important to bring out the message to the communities. Yes, we understand it's tradition. Oftentimes it's illegal. If you're going by the books, what's in the law, most of the people who are hunting out there, it's being done illegally. Either they don't have a hunting permit, or they do have a permit, but they're in the wrong place at the wrong time, because you're not supposed to hunt at night, but everyone hunts at night. Or they don't have any of those, no permit, and they just go in, oftentimes with an unlicensed firearm, or they just borrow their neighbor's shotgun, and they go ahead and do it. So I think the education component is trying to address that yes, you can, we're not saying you shouldn't hunt, do it wisely. The resources are, they're finite. At some point they'll run out. And if you want to continue doing it, perhaps want your kids and your grandkids to do it in the future, then you have to do the right thing. There's ways in which it can be done, and so part of the education has to be how can we tell people where to go to, because oftentimes they may not know where to go to for a permit, or they may not know the seasons, the breeding seasons for certain species, and that's kind of key in terms of preserving species for a longer period of time. So if you kill a pregnant deer, for example, then you're reducing the chances of that population to persist for a longer time. So, but yeah, I think education is key, and it is one of the components of our community and outreach program. It is kind of the half. Livelihoods is one, then education and awareness is another one.
So we've been focusing a lot on human connectivity, human balance with nature, and these are things that, for the most part, humans can control to a for the lack of a better word. other humans in certain aspect with laws and regulations. But what about the aspects that are not human, that are very much from out of your control, fire risk, deforestation, and so forth? How do you, as Yashem, manage that then?
Yeah, well, that's a great question. And fire risk is something that we are dealing with every dry season. We have the Bladed Nature Reserve, which is adjacent to a large savanna. That's the Deep River Forest Reserve, and so that burns consistently every year. So what we have done is actually we've trained our staff, our ranger team, and our extension officers to handle all the fire tools, to be able to like put in the fire brakes, so that when there's a threat of fire, we're able to kind of keep it from spreading any farther. Another thing that we do is that we train members of the community who wish to practice slash and burn, so we allow them to access our tools so that they can, you know, control their fire on their farms, and then it reduces the chance that that would spread.
Do we lose forests during these fires?
It has happened. We've had some fires in recent years burning from the roadside into the Golden Stream Corridor Preserve. Because I don't know if you've seen a map of that protected area, but the Southern Highway like bisects the reserve. So the reserve is on the north and to the south of the highway. And yeah, regularly we will see like trash burning on the side of the road, and then we will have to go and out it.
So there are some human factors to these fires. Is it mainly human contributing to these fires? I don't know. Somebody throws a cigarette butt, somebody lights a trash. I know there is some explanations that it's just the heat from the sun as well. Would you delve a bit into how these fires are started, how they're caused, what causes them?
I think for the most part, the fires that I've witnessed over the last few years have been mostly human caused. But there is a risk too that lightning strikes, especially in the savanna in the dry season, could cause a fire there as well.
So talk to us about the restoration that Yasha does when it comes to these risks.
Yeah, so as Saeed was talking about a few minutes ago, illegal logging is an issue, and especially in the Maya Mountain North Forest Reserve. So we actually have a few areas of that reserve that have been cleared for agriculture and selectively logged as well. And there is one particular spot that's about 6 acres. It's very large along the boundary line where several ranger patrols were able to encounter the individual in the area. And jointly with the Forest Department, we brought the case to court, and it was successfully prosecuted, and so we were reasonably confident that the area was secure, and we started to go back last year and replant that clearing. So
when you hear an instance like 6 acres being cleared for agricultural land, the question is, how is it that these perpetrators were able to do that without being detected until 6 acres had been cleared?
Yeah, that's part of the challenge. Oftentimes we have the people, they scout the area when we're not around, and there's always someone watching you, so don't ever think that they're not watching you when you're out there. So they know more or less where areas of land are good for agriculture, right? So they would tend to go out several times, scout the area. And in this particular instance that she's talking about, we ended up finding it by looking at satellite imagery around March, and the imagery was like near real time, just a couple of days from when the clearings had happened. And so we sent out a team to verify where this was, and lo and behold, we found this clearing, and there was this private property at the boundary line of the reserve. It's like an orange orchard, and there was a strip of forest that was left in between the boundary line and the actual clearing. So you, when you walk the boundary line of the orchard, all you see is just trees. But just like 50 meters in, then there's this 6 to 8 acre clearing.
It's like the actions of
smart, actually.
Of any criminal, right? Yes, any criminal would find ways to circumvent the system to try and get away with their crime.
But then this is where I find it interesting that, if you are just scouting the perimeter with boots on the ground, you wouldn't really notice that something was cleared because you said it was
Exactly.
satellite imagery,
So
right?
you have to combine as many tools as you can, and so satellite imagery is just one of the tools that we use. Of course, our guys are out there. They use a regular phone, but they're like rugged phones so that they resist the wear and tear of being out there. And so they have an app called Smart, which they use to document all the information. But that's for what they can see while they're on patrol. So the stuff that they cannot see is what we're trying to build on. So improving on technology using satellite imagery. The use of drones is something that is fairly new to us, but we're starting to use it more and more, not just for detection, but also for assessments of damages whenever we encounter them.
So Yashe has particular parameters, right, where you guys focus mostly your work in. Are there any other areas with your partners that, for example, if something happens in Orange Walk or in the north, that your partners are not able to get to, will Yashe be able to assist?
Yeah, so we have certain expertise within the organization, and other partner organizations have tapped into that expertise, like for example, fire management. I think this was prior to during the pandemic, there was an outbreak in terms of fire in the Benke area, Vaca Forest Reserve. Yaksha was able to assist a group in Benke to basically help suppress the fire within that area. So yeah, there are areas that we have loan expertise to other organizations.
Very nice. I know we have a lot more to cover, and I do want to get into that citizen science symposium. But let's go into the propagation trails a little bit. Can you talk to us a little bit more about what that is and what Yashe is doing?
Yeah, definitely. So in the Maya Mountain North Forest Reserve, we did some surveys to look for 10 species of trees that we knew were either threatened or rare or were valuable for timber, because these are the species that we are, they have the most pressing need to be conserved, especially in the forest reserve where it could be logged, right? So we needed to have more information about where these populations were located and their size and kind of the age of the trees themselves. So we did some extensive field work on the ground to do those surveys and established where the populations were located. And then after that, we actually monitored the trees regularly to collect seeds, and we grew those trees in our nursery. So Yashe does have a nursery at Golden Stream, and we use it to grow cacao that we give to farmers and inga and all of the types of trees that they use for the sustainable agriculture, but we also use it for restoration project type of works.
And from the nursery, these trees are replanted back across the reserve.
Yeah, exactly. And so several of the species that we were interested in targeting, because they were rare, they just hadn't been studied very well to know the best practices for growing them. So we actually did do some experiments to try different things, like different lighting conditions or different types of soil, different treatments before planting the seed to see if we could break the dormancy of the seed itself and encourage it to germinate even better. So we were documenting all of that information in the process. So now we're in that phase of planting.
All right, well, there's a lot more to
There's a lot more to cover, and before we continue though, we have to take a very short break, and we'll be back with more Yashe, so stay tuned.
Technology is ubiquitous, and it's transforming how, when, and where we work. Fulltech Systems is placing award-winning devices in the hands of information workers, allowing them to work without compromise in a world without wires, to innovate, create, and to maximize productivity anytime, anywhere, satisfying the needs of the desk-centric remote and field worker and every other worker in between. We are providing the industry's best devices to businesses going through the process of digital transformation. Partner with us today to provide the solutions that will allow your employees to work effectively and efficiently to enhance your customers' experience. Full-Tech Systems, your technology center, where you'll come for the price, but stay for the service.
We are Belizean travelers. Are you?
Better enjoy your holiday season. Don't wait or be late, baby, don't back down. You're gonna hear my name when I shout it out loud. Go to my life at your house whenever. We ain't gonna live forever. We just wanna live while we're
Beekeeping by Benny's, Belize's newest multi-brand rewards program. To access Beekeeping, download the mobile app or access the website portal at beebox.bz and set up your account. If you already have a Benny's account, chances are you already have Beekeeping. Don't let them go to waste. To earn Beekeeping, make a purchase at any Benny's location or at any of these Benny's entities, namely Island Freight Forwarders, Best Manufacturing, Benquip, and B-Mart. Once Beekeeping are earned, reward yourself. Use Beekeeping to buy items or exchange for cash. You can also double, triple, or even quadruple your Beekeeping on promotional days. It is simple. Purchase, earn, redeem. Loyalty is always rewarding with Beekeeping. Brought to you by Benny's, celebrating 75 years of quality and savings.
And we are back, and if you're joining us now, we are continuing on our conversation with our friends from the Yashe Conservation Trust, and we switched one. But if you are just joining us, we do have Elizabeth Dorge, the Science Program Officer, Director, and we now have Florentino Chiak, who is the Wildlife Officer, and Syed Gutierrez, the Protected Areas Program Director. So we're continuing this conversation with what Yashe is up to, and I wanted to go into the Science Symposium, right? Well, before we get into that, the SCI program. So Beth, can you talk to us a little bit about that? SCI is with a capital SCI. Does it stand for something?
It's just a shortened way that we talk about our program. So.
Okay. So talk to us about the science program, and I imagine that you are the director of it.
That's right, yeah. So the science program is the program at Yashe that handles all of the biodiversity research and monitoring. This work at Yashe actually began around 2006. So in some cases we have really long-term data sets for some species. But over the years, we've improved our methods, we've started adapting new technologies, such as camera traps. And we really aim to kind of answer those important questions that we have about protected areas management and our community outreach and livelihoods program and how effective those are. So yeah.
So you have the community coming and asking questions, or do you go out and do you hold like different programs and events where you bring the community together and give them this information?
Good question. Yeah, we always try to feed our results into our education and outreach that we do in communities. So we have school programs where we share like images from the field. We actually have annual events that we hold at our Yashe field station in Golden Stream, such as the BioBlitz, which is really species focused, and we bring in students from like primary school ages, and they go out in the protected areas with our rangers, and they just document as many species of birds and trees and insects that they can find. So it's a really good learning opportunity for them.
How do you manage to provide information? You guys say you work closely with communities, and I mean, most of the environmental scientific data is a lot of heavy academic jargon.
Yeah.
So how do you then take that and put it in a space where you are able to provide education to the regular civilian in a way that they'll be able to process and understand?
Well, I rely a lot upon our education team at Yashe. They are actually members of the same communities where we work. And so they're really good at kind of translating my scientific speak into something that like especially young kids could understand.
So we have Florentino with us, and he is the wildlife officer. And I want to discuss how it is that you are able to be a citizen scientist and work along with Yashe.
Okay, sure. So, like in Belize, most of the wildlife monitoring through the use of camera trap are focused in the protected areas that co-managers co-manages here in Belize. So in 2016, Yashe shifted that focus to a citizen science approach where they started to involve farmers in wildlife monitoring. We know that protected areas management is not only managing like the conserved areas, but also managing how people are utilizing their resource in a landscape that is fragmented with human communities and also other agricultural activities. So when it started in 2016, it was on 5 farms from 4 communities, which include Golden Stream, San Miguel, Medina Bank, and Big Falls. So this is where farmers, were trained in camera trap handle and deployment in an effort to become citizen scientists. So we wanted farmers to be engaged, not only us at the Yashe team who utilize this camera trap for wildlife monitoring. So from there we could see the different capacity building has also, intrigued these farmers because of the capability of the camera trap, taking these photos, and also especially like in the real world, not everyone can see wildlife, but with the camera you're able to capture the photos, and farming families have that opportunity to view these different wildlife dwelling on their farms.
Yeah, I mean, it must be a wow event for them as well to say, come see what we captured, come see what's on our farmer, come and see what's out there. Would you talk a bit about what sort of training they have to receive to be able to operate one of these?
Yeah, so whenever a farmer is recruited as part of that camera trapping effort, so what you usually do is we conduct a series of capacity building where we train them and just share the importance of the camera first. We have to, give them that exposure to this camera, and because before the monitoring usually have that traditional method using transect and so forth. But as technology evolved, now we have the camera. So we basically taught them how to program the camera. Because they have different features that you have to program the camera so it could answer your research questions you have. So we basically taught them to program the camera to put the date, the time, and what kind of information it needs to be collected.
So I know this isn't, you don't have battery in this right now, but explain to me what this thing is.
So, okay, so basically there's a main different parts of the camera. For example, this one on the top, this is the PIR sensor. Is the one that detects movements, yeah.
This one,
It detects like the body heat or the movement for animals.
Okay.
So once it detects a body movement, it triggers the camera to take a photo or a video.
So that's where you get the black and white snap pictures of like the jaguar and so forth. Okay, sorry.
Yep.
And then,
Yeah, so because of the capability of the camera, once you program it, it does its job for itself.
Okay.
So
and then of
that's the
course you have
beauty.
your controls.
Yep.
And that data, those images, once they're collected by the farmer, what do they do with it? What's their responsibility then? Do they then report that back to you guys? Do you then go and collect the camera and the data from them? How does that work?
Yeah. So we have a science team under the science program that help with the deployment along with the citizen science farmers. So whenever they have a deployment date, the farmer would tag along with the team and usually help with the program and everything.
Yeah.
So in case of the farmer, they also help to, you know, sort of be a security for the camera out in the farm. Because in most cases, what is some of the issue we encounter is the theft. Because usually, you know, there are hunter passing by, often they would see the camera, like, you know, to monitor them, but indeed it's monitoring wildlife. But not everyone has that understanding yet, but that's why.
So they steal the equipment.
Yeah, in some cases, yes, and it's a huge loss for us because the price for these are roughly around $300.
But it's also a loss for, you know, the effort. It's a loss for data collection because then all of that is taken with them, right? So talk to us. I mean, you bring me gadgets, so now I want everything on the planet table. So apart from this as a way to teach people, civilians, how to be citizen scientists, what else? What other programs are you doing at Yash?
Yeah, so beside the citizen science camera campaign that we do with the 19 agroforestry farm, we also work with the cattle farms. 8 cattle farms that, in terms of conflict response. So back in 2015, that's where cattle farmers reached out to Yashche, where they encounter predation on livestock, mainly the suspected predator they often would see is jaguar. So that time farmers were losing calf, dogs, and they reached out to Yashche for help. So that's where, you know, in 2015, the human jaguar conflict program was established, which mainly focused on education. Most of the time, farmers just see jaguar, you know, as a villain, but not knowing that they have an ecological role. So it is deeply appreciated within the Belizean culture. So that behavioral change came about through education and working closely with them in terms of the conflict response. And also in 2015, around that time, that's where Yashche also piloted mitigation measures in an effort to reduce cattle depredations with these farmers. So what you have there is a foxlight, which is a solar predator deterrence that was piloted, and it also included a case study where they evaluated the effectiveness of these mitigation measures. So the mitigation measures include like lights, songs, and also improved fencing. So that light is, you know, imported from the US. And
what does it do? How does it work?
So basically that light mimics human presence. Human presence. So whenever like a farmers, you know, usually go check on their livestock at night. So that light basically mimics a human with a light. So with the light, it flickers randomly. So the predator doesn't get habituated of the different pattern. And you know, predators, you know, become vigilant of that. So they won't really, you know, smart. They will deter from that, from going to that area. So that's the beauty of that. It's a solar power. It come on during at night and turn off in the morning. So it just does its job, flickering the red, white, and blue lights.
Before these mitigation measures, I would imagine you had a lot of incidents where farmers would kill jaguars, and that's something you don't want, correct?
Yep, because I mean, no, you know, the population is already struggling. You know, that's why Yashche's intervention in terms of, you know, advocating and implementing these mitigation measures, we could see that behavioral change too. And also they conducted like a social survey as part of the case study where farmers, there had been a change in attitude when it comes to there's alternative for mitigation measures rather than, you know, just killing the jaguar.
So what has been what has the buy-in been like from farmers? Do you have farmers that are reluctant still to implement some of these measures?
Yeah, in some cases, yes, but most of the farmers, you know, gain this understanding, especially through the education we do with them, and they have sort of, you know, accepted the fact that they have the fall as well, because, you know, these are traditional wildlife habitat, you know, and as, you know, agricultural activity continue to advances, you know, we further push wildlife into the edges, and, you know, that's where, in a sort of way, the Maya Golden landscape is a unique area where, you know, both human and wildlife continue to coexist, and oftentimes that conflict issue arises. So we just need to work around that to see where we could promote that intervention in terms of conflict response and helping with the mitigation measures.
I wanted to go back quickly to the camera traps just to ask a bit about some of the findings that you've been able to gather from these traps. We've seen a lot of images being displayed of a lot of different animals and wildlife. What are some of the exciting things that have been coming out of this data for you?
So the years of monitoring has actually yielded remarkable findings of wildlife, which include the 5 wildcats of Belize, the jaguars, the puma, the ocelot, jaguarundi, and margay. So that's the 5 wildcats, and
all
also
within
the farms, the farming landscape,
Okay.
and also game species, which, you know, these are important food source for predators and also for indigenous communities.
Indeed.
So yeah, that's what we have been seeing over the years, and also the data has shown, you know, continue to show us that, you know, these different wildlife continues to be active both during the wet and the dry season, you know. And also when it comes to the monitoring agroforestry farms, this shows that the farming practices that these farmers continue to support their livelihoods while, you know, promoting wildlife conservation, you know, by ensuring these connectivities within this landscape.
So this thick book right here,
that I can't lift up.
This contains images from data gathered over the years?
Yeah, so some of the ways we try to share information where, you know, farming families could understand is through that infographic guide. We all know that, you know, picture worth 1,000 words.
Indeed.
So with all the different photos that are gathered from the camera trap farm on each farms, we are able to make that pretty infographic where we give the different photos that are captured on the farms for farmers.
That's incredible. That's a lot.
And this is all taken from the camera trap.
Just take some time to appreciate this type of work, right?
Yes. Okay, so I want to talk more about the research and the traditional knowledge systems that you all have taken advantage of. Beth, can you tell us about the bee, the importance of bees, the bee, I want to say revitalization project, even though I know that's not it, that we were discussing in the first segment?
Yeah, definitely. So we work with beekeepers at Yashe. These are beekeepers who primarily use the honeybee. And this is a great species if you want to really just get the most volume of honey, because that is the bee that will do that for you.
Before you get into that, please explain to our viewers why bees are important for our ecosystem.
Of course.
Yes.
Well, they provide pollination services, first and foremost. And when we think of bees, we usually think of the honeybee, maybe 1 or 2 other species, but there are actually at least 100 more bees here in Belize alone, and about 20,000 species worldwide. And many of these bees are actually co-evolved with specific plants, so that they actually, this plant, you know, requires a specific bee to pollinate it. So when you start to think about habitat loss and fire and all of these threats that we were talking about earlier, if these things start to affect the bees, then you could start to see the loss of these floral resources as well, and even crops in some cases. So bees are extremely important, and it's also extremely important to know which species you have around you. because they all kind of behave a little bit differently, and they nest in different areas in the ground, in trees, or in hollow sticks in some cases. And so certain things, like your management practices on your farm, could really impact some of these native bees. So yeah, one thing that we did here at Yache, we tried to figure out what are the species that we have around us, first and foremost. And so we spent 2 years doing an inventory for all the native bees, and so far we've discovered about 52 species.
52?
Yeah.
Wow.
And for the country of Belize, there's been 148 documented so far, so that's about a third of what's known for the country.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah.
So how do we then manage the population within the protected area?
It will require some ongoing monitoring. So all we have so far is just this one baseline where we kind of figured out what we have and where, but we need to do some ongoing work to figure out the trends and see if these populations are changing, if the species composition is changing, and if that is something that needs to be addressed through the outreach efforts that we already do.
At what point did you guys begin to realize that this was also an important part of the work that you do there?
Well, I mean, I think people have always been interested in bees because of it's a big farming community in the south, and the farmers are already very aware of the importance of bees, but I think people just don't know kind of how many there are and like all of that. So one thing that we have done actually is we took everything that we learned about the bees that we've discovered, and we took photos and we put it together into this native bee guide.
Yes.
And so there we go. Thank you. This is available on our website as well. We want to share, we share these results as widely as we can.
I know we have do we still have a large population of the stingless bees?
We do. Yeah, we do actually. Those were some of the most abundant that we found. And in the agroforestry farms, especially where we were surveying bees, we found a lot of stingless bees. And those are a really interesting group because they also produce honey, like honeybees do. They live in colonies together, and they don't produce as much honey as a honeybee. It's a much smaller volume, but it has some medicinal qualities.
So the work that the women do, where beekeeping is concerned, how does that correlate with the work you're doing in terms of managing the bee population?
Well, so far, I believe all the women beekeepers that we have all work with honeybees, but I'm really interested in trying to see if people would be willing to adopt meliponiculture, which is honey production using these stingless bees. Because the hives are small, the bees are not very aggressive, you can keep them close to your home. It's just a very it's easy to adopt that practice.
One of the things, go ahead, April.
Oh, no, I wanted to, we're already running out of time. But I wanted to, before we leave, tap into the Citizen Science Symposium event, because I know that is something that is happening relatively soon, the end of this month.
Yes.
So can any of you shed some light on what that is? Where can we find more information about it? Who's presenting? Why should we attend? All of these questions.
Well, yes, the Citizen Science Symposium is an event that Yache is hosting on the 23rd of September. And we will basically be sharing results from all of our biodiversity research and monitoring on the agroforestry farms and in the farmlands. So everything that we talked about today, including the work done with our citizen scientists with the camera traps, the bee research and the inventory and what we learned through that. We will also be talking a little bit about some of the threats to these species, like the fire risk and deforestation.
Forest connectivity.
Forest connectivity, which is very important.
It's a one-day event?
One-day event. It will be a full day. The morning session will focus more on biodiversity and farms, and then the afternoon we'll look at some of the tree work that we've done in Maya Mountain North, which we talked about earlier this morning, all the propagation trials and the best practices that we've learned.
So how can people join? Where can they go to sign up?
Well, they can attend virtually. We will have sessions available through Microsoft Teams. And if you check out Yashe on Facebook or Instagram or Twitter, or go to our website, yashe.org, you will find the link to register.
And anybody can attend. There's no fee. I could just register and sign in.
That's exactly right. No fee.
Okay.
April?
I wanted to ask about the types of presentations, but she already covered. Can we expect any foreign research or anybody that's coming in to talk about their research that they're doing outside of Yashe?
Not at this event. This event I will be presenting, as will Saeed and Florentino mainly, but we will also have some of our rangers who are those guys in the field every day, like really familiar with the data and the monitoring. They are going to be presenting as well.
Remind us of the date?
September 23rd.
At 9 in the morning.
Yes.
That's a
And
Friday.
if I just want to watch the event, can I tap into any of your social medias?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah, that's true.
I suppose most people use Facebook at this point. So yeah, you'll definitely be able to stream it on
Okay. So before we go, right, I wanted to take a note of this big book that's on my lap. But and I know I'm looking at the pictures, and it completely surpassed me that they have, right, the scientific name of the species, right, which I think is really cool, what we call it, and then the two indigenous names in the south, the indigenous languages that are in the south, and that's the Quechua and the Mopan, and it's in Quechua and Mopan as well. Sorry, I know that is not, like, that is cool to me, right?
No, yeah.
So I found that that's really, really awesome, and it kind of shows that community engagement aspect of the research, because then it's multilingual, right? So you have English, scientific name, Quechua, and then Mopan.
It's
I really
truly
appreciate
what I would have wrapped up with commending you for the work you're doing, and how you've been able to document all of this in formats that are palatable to the regular Joe per se. So I could pick up any one of these books or something like this and be able to understand what it is that you've been able to gather and appreciate the amount of work that has gone into putting all this data together. So it's truly encouraging to see all of this, and it gives me a greater level of appreciation for the resources I have as a Belizean, the forest resources, the wildlife resources that I have as a Belizean.
Can I access this on your website, or is this just like a compilation of everything?
That we created specifically to hand out to farmers, but I don't think it's on our website yet, but I think we could do something and put images online with the farmers' names removed.
So cool.
Pays to be a farmer.
Guys, well, we're completely out of time, but do you want to give us any final words? No.
Come and tune in to the symposium on the 23rd.
Absolutely. We'd like to see as many people join either in person. Of course, we're having this in Southern Belize, in PG, but for everyone else, our viewers today, log on to your Facebook accounts, and we're
register now.
Hoping to register and sign up, and we'll see you soon.
So Citizen Science Symposium hosted by Yashe is going to be held on the 23rd of September. You can register through their Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, or at yashe.org. We're taking a short break, and we'll be back with our final conversation for this morning, so stay tuned.
My
My beautiful Belize, my land of the free, my home and it's bound by the Caribbean Sea. Valiant and bold, proud we are strong. Belize we rebound at age 41. Belize we are free and independent. We're free and independent. Free and independent. To be whatever you wanna be. Free and independent. We're free and independent. Free and independent. We're changing our country. We're free. So make we celebrate with smart. Come celebrate with smart. Make we celebrate with smart. Let's celebrate with smart. So make we celebrate with smart. Come celebrate with smart. Make we celebrate with smart. Let's celebrate with smart.
The entire Smart family wishes all Belizeans a safe and happy September celebrations. Smart, bringing people together.
Come to J&J Steakhouse for premium steaks and a fine dining experience. It will be love at first bite. We offer signature dishes, cocktails, decadent desserts, and an international wine cellar. Call for reservations at 205-2526 or 624-0500 or contact us on Facebook or Instagram. Opening hours are Monday to Wednesday from 11 a.m. to 9 p.m., Thursday to Sunday from 11 a.m. to 10 p.m. Come and taste the difference at J&J Steakhouse, 10.5 miles Philip Golson Highway in Ladyville. Good times, great taste.
Your life just got a lot less complicated with Belize Bank Contactless MasterCard Debit Card. Introducing our Standard Debit and MasterCard Platinum Debit Cards. Now you can make purchases anywhere MasterCard is accepted with one tap, pay and go. Your contactless card never has to leave your hands, especially in these times. And your card is embedded with multiple layers of security. Platinum card holders get to enjoy extra benefits like price protection, purchase protection, trip inconvenience, and luggage protection, just to name a few. Start enjoying a cashless lifestyle today with the Belize Bank.
Great Belize Productions Channel 5, proud winner of 9 Caribbean Media Awards for 2021. Best Investigative Report, Best News Item, Best Coverage of People with Disabilities, Best Financial Literacy Journalism, Best Videographer, Best Television Commercial Spot, and the People's Choice Award, with 2 special mentions for financial literacy journalism.
Are you looking for low-cost television advertising? Have we got a deal for you? Advertise on Channel 5's Daily Classifieds. Channel 5's Daily Classifieds is one of the most effective methods for introducing yourself and your business to the community. Use our Daily Classifieds to recruit employees, promote specials, promote your products or services, promote a business opportunity, increase traffic to your website, and advertise items you have for sale. Let us help you to save valuable time and money. Call us today at 280-0013 or visit us at our offices on Coney Drive to discuss how we can help your business grow affordably. Channel 5 Daily Classifieds. Advertise today.
Dwayne Moody, Isani Cayetano, Marion Ali, Paul Lopez. Your News 5 Belize teams do whatever it takes, go wherever they need to go, so you can catch the story wherever you are, whenever you want, on whatever device. Channel 5 Belize on television, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube, because news is now everywhere, all the time, and so are we.
Whether you're at home, on the road, at work, or at school, if you see news happening or suspect that something might be up, call or text the Channel 5 News Belize tip line at 672-5555. You don't have to give us your name, just give us the tip. That's 672-5555. Call or text us so we can check it out. All right, and so we're back for our final conversation on this lovely Tuesday morning. And we have in with us for this conversation our friends from over at Smart Belize and Quartz. And so we have in with us Adelaide Sabido. She is the supervisor of ads, promotions, and communications at Smart. And we have Tristan Coleman, who is a digital marketing, public relations, and corporate social responsibility at Quartz. Man, you got a lot of titles, right? So hope that they pay you for all their titles there. That's what I say. Good morning to both of you.
Hi, good morning.
How are we this morning?
I'm good.
I'm doing well. Thank you for having us. It's
Awesome.
always a pleasure to be on Open Your Eyes.
Of course.
Right, so we do have a lot going on.
Yeah.
We're in our national month, so beyond the patriotism, we of course at Smart and at Quartz have always listened to the customer, and we want to celebrate with the Belizeans both at home and abroad. And so we have brought about a lot of things, but before we get into that, I just want to recap a little bit about what Smart has been doing over the summer. We are back in school. I think this is the second week for primary school. Yeah, and about the third for high school. And over the past month, we haven't been doing our back to school tour as we normally do due to COVID, but we did select 4 schools which we went to visit and handed off some school bags with supplies as well as shoes. And those 4 schools were San Antonio Government School, Caledonia Primary School up north, and then we went south 2 weeks ago where we visited Big Falls Primary School as well as San Pedro, Colombia.
Wow.
Right, and then on a Saturday we had the Smart staff, about 20 staff members, join us at Santa Clara RC School, where we painted the interior of 9 classrooms, which is pretty much the entire school. But you know, the camaraderie and doing something together as a team meant a whole lot for the staff. And we were very happy to join the principal and teachers and I think a couple of parents from that school in that initiative. So there's been a lot going on over the summer, and of course we continue to work. We have always prized ourselves as a Belizean company foremost. And we have, you know, over the years, 17 years into it, have given back so much to the community, and we are most honored to do so. And we continue to listen to what our customers are asking for and try our very best to make sure that they are powering their dollar and getting value for what they're paying for. And so those works continue. And being that we are doing that, that is how the sweepstakes came about. Yeah. And that's the big highlight of this week going into the Expo. I think everybody is heads on, waiting to see who's going to win that $10,000 shopping spree at Quartz, who is our platinum sponsor.
You know, if it's one thing your customers are asking for, as all Belizeans are, is for more products from Quartz. Right? We want the big TV, we want the fridge, we want the washing machine, the sofa. We want new household appliances. We want deck out the house. Because Christmas to come, you know. Don't make nobody fool you. Santa, they're right around the corner. And so that's how you've been able to collaborate with Quartz for this sweepstakes. $10,000 shopping spree. Matters. Tell us about it.
And I must mention, this is the second time around that Quartz has been partnering with us. I think the first time we did it, it was just the $10,000 and maybe a couple Smart products thrown into it. But this time around, it's a 10-week summer sweepstakes. So we started out from July 15th, and every single Friday we've had fantastic prizes, I think ranging at a minimum of $900 to $1,000 each week.
Wow.
most weeks we had 2 prizes being drawn, of which every single week we've had a 2-night stay at one of our Belizean resorts. So you can tour your own country.
So please tell us how
perhaps we could talk a bit to Mr. Coleman to talk about what has the response been like from your customers. Do they come in and say, man, how do I become a part of this sweepstake? And are people more excited now to come in and shop?
Well, first of all, it's always our pleasure to be partnering with companies like Smart, such grand initiatives where they really want to make sure their customers get an experience that they can value. You know, and that's part of our slogan at Quartz. You know, we bring value home. So
and we bring people together.
Yeah, definitely.
I think they planned that.
Yeah. So we are glad that Smart once again thought of us when they brought up this initiative. And you know, $10,000 is a lot of money. And like you said, Christmas is coming. So, you know, you could get that almost a new home, pick your room. And so we are excited to go out with the customers, especially at the Expo, and see how, you know, give the best deals possible. Like Smart always giving back the best deals. We always have something going on over at Quartz. You know, our services extend past the in-store experience, and where you can actually get the after service with either Servitech, we have extended warranty, and we have so much more. And like we're showing right now, we have our influencers who have joined us promoting the great deals that we'll have out there at Marian Jones.
So how do you enter this sweepstake? Do you just go to course and shop?
No, actually, we've made it fairly easy, and there are 4 easy ways that Smart customers and those who are not Smart can get into the sweepstakes. And that's firstly the purchase of any Smart device at any showroom countrywide. We have 11 showrooms countrywide, and the purchase of any device gives you an automatic entry into the sweepstakes. Secondly, the signing up of any postpaid plan, whether it be your phone postpaid, whether it be your broadband, your home internet, whether it be a VoIP plan for businesses with extensions, any monthly billed plan gives you an automatic entry into the sweepstakes. Our third way is for those customers who use $50 of their prepaid credit. Not an upload, the usage of $50. We run a daily report, and those customers are automatically entered into the sweepstakes as well. And then the most popular way is texting in to the short code "you win," and that short code is 8946. And in the body of the message, if you want 5 entries at 50 cents each, all you have to do is type 5, the number 5, and then that's deducted from your prepaid credit. And postpaid customers are also able to enter this way, and then they get billed, the 50 cents per entry gets billed to them on their ending of the month bill. So the entries are fairly easy. We've had quite a lot of customers coming in, and thankfully we've had a winner from every district thus far.
So what you've given out prizes since you're saying since July.
Since July 15th,
every Friday. What have some of those prizes been look like?
The sweepstakes in value has run very close to $40,000 in prizes. Wow. And we've been able to, like I said, give a 2-night stay at a resort every single week, some weeks 2 resorts. And these are coupled with cash, these are coupled with tablets, with broadband, with gift certificates from shopping stores, an array of the courts as well. Gave weekly prizes. I think they gave a Westlow bike.
That was 2 weeks ago.
They gave shelving cabinets, a Ray-Ban sunglasses, which we coupled with a 2-night stay out, I think, at Sunbreeze Hotel. We've had Tropic Air, Maya Air. We've had a lot of sponsors. I don't know if they can put them on screen, but we definitely, Quartz as well as Smart, would like to extend the great thanks. Our gratitude is extended profoundly to all our sponsors, This would not be possible without them. This would not be possible without Quartz.
So when the moment comes for drawing of that $10,000 prize, it's a shopping $10,000, right?
Yes.
So when do I have like a limit, a time frame of when I can utilize that, or is it?
No, there is no time frame. We thought about that, but that winner is entitled to their $10,000, and so we will set a date that is convenient for them and us, and we will join them live to give the public as well a sneak peek to their shopping spree at Quartz. So we have two lives coming up.
Honestly, I don't know why I'm going to buy that Quartz if I get that.
Oh, really? I'm interested in knowing what would be the first product.
There's a fridge, right?
Is it the KitchenAid one?
There's the fridge that has the double door and then the freezer at the bottom, and then it comes with the water and the ice supply at the end, and and I already know what the cash is for that. But then washing machine.
She's been window shopping.
And there's also a toaster oven and the KitchenAid mixer.
Wow. I know she has the products picked out. I mean, you could also shop on shopquartz.com. And but last 2 weeks when they won the bike, we got a call over there. I was in the office and they said the customer is coming right now. So we know that.
It wasn't even an hour after. All right, we call the winners on a weekly basis, and we make arrangements because some of the sponsors would like the winner to pick up the prize from their establishment. But this winner was here, and he's like, I want it now.
So, if I get your question, April, but if I win $10,000 shopping free at Quartz, I want to know what is the earliest convenient time for me to come over, even if I didn't wait a PG. I will catch a flight and we are there in our hour, because come on, it's a great deal. When will you draw that winning ticket?
Well, we're asking the public to join us live on Facebook at 2 o'clock on Friday.
This Friday?
Yes, this Friday. So it can't get better. You have the live draw at 2 o'clock, not just for the $10,000. That is the grand prize, but we have an array of other prizes that day as well on the live draw. And then you run into Expo for the weekend. So it's a full-fledged celebratory weekend, and we're starting it off right on Friday. And we will have our influencers join us on the live coverage. Brittany Starr, who will be performing with Oscar B., who is here as well at headquarters on Friday at 2 p.m. And so we will start with an array of different prizes, phones, credits, data, broadband, to hype up the crowd. And then we go into a fifth prize, which is a Fire tablet and 6 months free of smart broadband. And then fourth prize is a Nintendo Switch along with a Fire Stick. Third prize is also another Nintendo Switch and $1,000 courtesy of BTB. And then we have second prize, which is another really good prize, and that is round trip tickets for a family of 4 from Frontier Airlines, and that's coupled with $3,000 cash courtesy of RFNG, Belize Bank, and Smart. And then we draw the grand prize of $10,000. So
everybody's a winner.
Everybody, we've had, I think so far we've had about 25 or 26 winners into the sweepstakes, and then we'll have several more on Friday.
But of course, you have to be in it to win.
You have to be in it. And it's all about luck at this point, because if you're not a smart customer and you want to get in on this and you go and buy a device and try and stay on the smart network and keep it in and use your credit, you're going to be entered into this, right? The winners that have won over the past 9 weeks, their names are still in the pot, so they can win again on Friday. They can't win 2 prizes on Friday, but they can win again on Friday.
So only allowed to win one. What if you draw my name twice?
No, you have just one prize. You go with the first prize, unfortunately.
Is there any way your postpaid customers can win? Like, is there anything a postpaid customer can do on their device? Or I'm asking for myself.
I mean, yes, they can text in.
Just
They
postpaid
can text in
customers
as well,
can
and then
text in.
that 50 cents per entry is added to their monthly
So
bill.
if I was like a previous winner the past 10 weeks, I'm still eligible
Yes.
for?
Okay,
Yeah.
still eligible.
All right, so that's on Friday. So you still have time.
You still have time between
today
now and Friday. Do I have time up until 1 o'clock Friday afternoon? When do you close the
I
draw?
would say around 1:30.
Okay, good. All right, so let's talk about the day after this big drawing. We have the Expo, the Belize Expo coming up. Give us at least sneak peek into what
Go first with Quartz.
will Quartz have to offer out at the Expo this weekend?
So at the Expo this weekend, we'll be having up to 70% off.
No, man.
Yes. Yeah, so take it up to 70% off on select products, of course. And we have different promotions on some of our different products. Like we have stoves, we have grills. We'll have one of the best displays that Quartz has ever done, and we are excited. We've been working on this for a very long time. So we have to invite everyone to please come on out. And you don't have to shop on cash at the Expo. You could also shop on credit. You could get instant credit. You get extended warranty. And you know, if you're not there, you could head to any one of our Quartz stores, and we will also be extending a little bit of these offers at our stores countrywide this week.
So you could get your credit right out there on Saturday if you've never credited with.
You could apply for refinance out there.
So even if I don't win the $10,000 on Friday, I
could
still
go
could
get
go shop
70%
70% off
on
Saturday.
items, yeah.
And we have a bunch of other activities that will be taking place out there where you could win other great prizes.
All right, so say he don't give me the whole rundown. That's smart turn.
She don't say she don't give me everything.
Snippet.
Yeah.
A snippet. Well, of course, we've always done Beat the Heat, right? We are having fantastic deals out at the Expo. We have phones at, rock bottom blowout prices. We've realized that we're in a different time, economic-wise. Everybody's feeling it a little bit more. But at the same time, we want to be connected and we want to enjoy data on the go. And we're in a data-driven world now. And so we are having new devices out there. We are having what we call the entry-level devices as well. And those are always a grab, the flip phones. But I'm not going to go too much into the prices right now, but definitely you can visit the Smart Showroom from Friday as well. And who knows, if you're in Belize City, you can join us for the Oscar B performances and buy your new phone and take advantage of all the Expo deals at the showroom on Friday. And that's happening countrywide. All showrooms will have Expo deals on Friday.
Would you have?
However, there are a couple little promos that are only applicable to those who go to Marion Jones at the Expo, right? And the first 50 and the first 50 customers at the booth, both on Saturday and on Sunday, will get an additional 10% off their device purchase, which is heavily discounted as well on that day. So I'm positively sure that we have something for every budget out there. We are also having, of course, the double and triple up. Double up will be countrywide on Saturday, and double up and triple up will be at the booth on Sunday as well, with triple up starting at $20.
Wow.
Right? Normally triple up is
about
50, right? So on Sunday you can triple up at the booth only. Saturday is countrywide double up. Right?
Okay.
Wow.
And then we have broadband and postpaid plans promos going on, where our broadband you get free installation, and if you're out there or on the showroom at any of the showroom on Friday, you can get free installation and 50% off 3 months plus a free prepaid plan. So if you're with the other guys and you want to test out the smart home internet, you can sign up for broadband, and we'll even give you the 50% off for 3 months, and we'll even throw in a free smart number for you to try out, you know.
Wow. That's incredible.
And then we have the postpaid plan, which comes with a free SIM when you sign up, and you get your 3rd month free for postpaid. And we have postpaid from, you know, from $25 going all the way up. We have like unlimited plans as well, starting at $120 a month. And I always want to encourage customers when they're like, oh, I don't want to be billed monthly. I trust more prepaid. I have and I pay as I go. But when you really think about it, how much credit do you put in for the month? It adds up. If you go and you put $10 today, 3 days later you go and put another $20, you could have a prepaid plan for $25 and have X amount of minutes, right? And there are some people, I remember before I was postpaid, every week you're putting $20, $30. It adds up.
And it changes the level of freedom you have to interact with your device, to interact with people outside of having a Wi-Fi connection. Will there be availability of premium devices out at the Expo?
There will be a couple, and we will have those as well on Friday. Majority of the customers who want those, though, normally contact the showrooms ahead of time. I guess just because they know the value of it, and they don't want to be carrying around so much money out there. So
but there will be some options.
There will be some options, and if we do run out, because sometimes we do run out of phones, the arrangement can still be made for them to pick it up.
I like how she says, snip it.
And then she give it
the whole
thing.
No, that's not the whole
I'm sure
thing.
it's not
Believe
the whole
me,
thing.
it's not the whole thing. And then we have this free SIM swap, and that's not happening only at the Expo. That's all month long, and that's for customers who want to come in and try out the smart network. We do prize ourselves in having coverage in areas that our competitors have not reached as yet, and especially going out to see, we know that our service is very strong out there, and so we have a lot of people coming in to request a SIM, and we also, so it led to the promotion of the free SIM swap, where if you bring in an active DigiSIM, you can get a free SIM, and that free SIM comes loaded with 2,000 megabytes of data, $25 credit, and 130 SMS. So you can walk away and be able to communicate with everyone, you know, in your contact list right away.
Wow.
Wonderful. So, I mean, one more time for our customers, how they can enter the sweepstakes, when are you drawing, and what are they winning?
All right, so to win, all you need to do is text in to the short code 8946. Remember the acronym you win, 8946, and in the body of the message, type the number of entries you would like to purchase, and you will be deducted 50 cents per entry from your prepaid credit. If you're a postpaid customer, that will be added to your bill. Secondly, you can purchase any device at any showroom, and that gives you an automatic entry into the sweepstakes. You can also use $50 of your prepaid credit, and that gives you an automatic entry into the sweepstakes as well. Or you can sign up for a postpaid plan, and postpaid means you get a monthly bill. And so that gives you an automatic entry into the sweepstakes as well.
And that $10,000.
And that $10,000 draws on Friday at 2 p.m. live on Smart's Facebook page. We will try to get it up on Court's Facebook page as well, and Courts will be joining us at our headquarters, along with our Smart ambassadors, Brittany Starr and Oscar B.
All right, and then of course you could go shop the Courts with $10,000.
Definitely.
Thank you both so much for dropping in. I can't wait to take a look and see who won, because I know, you know, luck, right? The all luck, and those things don't really work out for me. But you could also catch them at the Expo this Saturday and Sunday to see what you can also walk away with in terms of discounts and giveaways. So you want to check them out at the Expo this weekend at the Marion Jones Stadium. And with that, we're going to take our final break and we'll be back for a wrap up. So stay tuned.
Hola usuario de eCash, la aplicación eCash está disponible en español. Cambiar el idioma de tu aplicación de eCash de inglés a español es rápido y sencillo. Déjame mostrarte cómo se hace. Primero, abre tu aplicación eCash. Introduce tu PIN. Toca el icono More en la parte inferior de tu pantalla. Selecciona Security. Selecciona Language. Y luego selecciona Spanish. Vuelve a introducir tu PIN y ya está. Tu aplicación de eCash está ahora en español y puedes seguir disfrutando de tu cartera digital eCash. La aplicación eCash de Belize Bank te hace la vida más fácil.
¿Qué es Amnistía 2022? Una oportunidad para los inmigrantes indocumentados que viven en Belice. Belice quiere ayudarte a vivir libremente y continuar contribuyendo a las comunidades que usted y su familia ahora llaman su hogar, al ofrecer un camino hacia la residencia permanente. ¿Por qué debería aplicar? Al hacerlo, elimina barreras y reduce las dificultades que enfrenta viviendo como inmigrante indocumentado. Aplicar es fácil. Visita el sitio web www.immigration.gov.bz para obtener más información. Puede verificar si califica, cómo presentar una solicitud, qué documentos necesita y cómo hacer una cita. Prepárate, el plazo de inscripción será del 2 de agosto al 30 de noviembre 2022. Amnistía de Belice 2022. Continuemos construyendo Belice juntos.
Make your summer better. Over $35,000 in cash and prizes with Smart Summer Sweepstakes. Here's how you can enter for a chance to win. Purchase any device, sign up for a smart postpaid, broadband, or VoIP plan, use $50 or more regular prepaid credit, do a SIM swap, or text to the short code. You win 8946. And in the body of the message, enter the number of entries you would like to purchase. Each entry costs only 50 cents.
Don't waste any time. You can be the winner of weekly prizes starting July 1st. All methods give you more chances to win. Airline tickets, overnight stays at numerous resorts, cash prizes, gift certificates, and much, much more. One lucky person will win the grand prize of a $10,000 shopping spree courtesy Court and Smart.
Promotion ends September 16, 2022. So make your summer better by getting in the race to win with Smart Summer Sweepstakes. Smart, bringing people together.
Great Belize Productions Channel 5, proud winner of 9 Caribbean Media Awards for 2021. Best Investigative Report, Best News Item, Best Coverage of People with Disabilities, Best Financial Literacy Journalism, Best Videographer, Best Television Commercial Spot, and the People's Choice Award, with 2 special mentions for Financial Literacy Journalism.
Are you looking for low-cost television advertising? Have we got a deal for you? Advertise on Channel 5's Daily Classifieds. Channel 5's Daily Classifieds is one of the most effective methods for introducing yourself and your business to the community. Use our Daily Classifieds to recruit employees, promote specials, promote your products or services, promote a business opportunity, increase traffic to your website, and advertise items you have for sale. Let us help you to save valuable time and money. Call us today at 280-0013 or visit us at our offices on Coney Drive to discuss how we can help your business grow affordably. Channel 5's Daily Classifieds. Advertise today.
Dwayne Moody, Isani Cayetano, Marian Ali, Paul Lopez. Your News 5 police teams do whatever it takes, go wherever they need to go, so you can catch the story wherever you are, whenever you want, on whatever device. Channel 5 believes on television, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube, because news is now everywhere, all the time, and so are we.
Whether you're at home, on the road, at work, or at school, if you see news happening or suspect that something might be up, call or text the Channel 5 News Belize tip line at 672-5555. You don't have to give us your name, just give us the tip. That's 672-5555. Call or text us so we can check it out.
And we are back just like that. Our Tuesday morning is coming to a close.
April's great conversations this morning. We began with our folks over at Yakshe, and they are doing an incredible job at keeping the valuable resources that we have in the southern part of Belize, and of course it expands. It's thousands and thousands of acres, and so I appreciate truly them being here this morning to educate and inform us and our viewers on the work that they've been able to do and the documentation that they've been able to compile. And also we want to thank Smart Belize as well as Courts for joining us this morning to tell us about that $10,000 sweepstake that will be drawn on Friday. And of course, now you know all the ways that you can enter to win if you haven't already entered since it began on July 15th of this year. And of course, they also gave us some insight into what this weekend's Expo will look like at the Smart booth as well as at the Courts booth. But April, it's that time of the morning where we say so long farewell to you, my friends.
But of course, but before we go, we have birthday shout outs.
And so our first birthday shout out, we want to say happy birthday to our friend, our colleague over there at the Belize Press Office, none other than Miriam Longsworth. And so we want to say happy birthday to you, Miriam. You get old girl.
Oh gosh.
Mothers. No, I'm right up there in that age with you, but we do want to wish you a happy, blessed birthday. From all of us here at Channel 5 and Open Your Eyes, we do hope you have a wonderful day and that you get all the cake that your heart desires.
She share.
And then Miriam shares a birthday with another wonderful, sometimes, to the media man, none other than our Commissioner of Police, Chester Williams. Clyde Chester Williams goes by Chester to some, goes by many other names, but in the media we like to call him Compol.
Yeah.
Compol Williams. We want to say happy birthday to you. How old the man now? 40. Late 40s. No, it's about the information about private information. The man go up there in years. But of course, a very well decorated and accomplished police officer, and of course the leader of the police department at this time. We do want to wish him a happy birthday again from all of us here at Channel 5 and Open Your Eyes. Do have a wonderful day, sir. And try hold it down on the cake.
And of course, if you have a birthday shout out or a question or a comment, you can always drop us a line right here at Open Your Eyes. Wait. Okay. OIE at channel5belize.com, or you can check our Facebook live stream on Open Your Eyes BC and our highlights on Instagram at OYE Belize. We are going to see you guys tomorrow when you open your eyes.
And you start your morning right.
And be sure to keep your eyes, your minds,
and your hearts.
See you tomorrow. Have a great and safe day.
It was fun. Take care.
Open Your Eyes was brought to you by the Belize Bank. Our country, your bank.